Hey traders, John Howell here. In today we're going to be looking at just a bit of a short-term view across the market. It's going to be starting off with silver and gold and the mining stocks. I'm also going to be covering AG in this video. So remind me, okay? If I don't cover it, then remind me to cover it at the end of this video. I'll be looking at the stock market. There's a really interesting pattern that's forming in the stock market right now, which could signal a bit of a short-term pullback, maybe for a couple of days or so. So I'm going to share an interesting pattern with you, and also be sharing with you an interesting indicator that is signaling maybe potentially we're going to see a bit of a pullback in Ethereum. And I'll do a bit of a Bitcoin update for you as well too in this roundup of this video. Let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Hey traders, over the last 15 years, we've tested 64 different trading courses, and we have put the most powerful systems and trading techniques that we've discovered in this brand new trading course. And for a limited time, I'm giving away free access. So go to johnsfreegift.com. That's johnsfreegift.com, or click on the very first link in the description to get free access to this brand new trading course right now. Alrighty traders, let's get straight into it. So let's look at gold right now, and I'm going to do just a bit of a short-term technical analysis view on all these markets I have just mentioned across the board. Now, on a short-term basis, when it comes to gold, what we're seeing here right now for the last month is really just sideways. We're noticing that we have a bit of a sideways sort of resistance going on through here. So around about that 1860 level. And then you can see how there was a bit of a support and resistance going on down through here as well too. Now you can see what's happened here recently as we've had this channel. We broke down, we had a rally up, and now we're actually starting to pull back a little bit. So it's really interesting to see what happens here when it comes to the short-term basis. We've got that, still got that major level of support around that sort of 1780 level, somewhere about there. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens here. If you're more on the bear camp, then obviously you'd want to see this thing continue down. Now, what would be the sign to say the buyers are holding here and we're not likely to rally up? The sign for me on a short-term basis here would be that it would maybe probably hold, and then we'd start to rally up like this, because that'll create a low, and then it'll create another higher low in the markets. So that'll be a bit of a short-term bullish scenario in the markets. Right now we've got a high, a low, and a lower high. So it looks like on a short-term basis the sales are starting to come back in on a short-term basis. So we might see a bit of follow-through coming into gold moving forward. If we have a look at silver right now, and the thing that I'm noticing with silver is so much more stronger than the gold market. So you can see on the short-term basis we have this sort of bottom point down here, and if I draw my trend lines up from there to there, somewhere in about there, maybe even somewhere around about there, I would say. Let's just actually draw it down through there, right down through there. So I'm just trying to connect the low here and the low right here as well. But you'll notice something interesting with silver. Silver is, we had this sort of trend line, but now we're having a bit of a shorter term move coming to the upside as well too. And you'll notice that the market bounced here about a week ago. And right now, for the last couple of days, we've been holding this trend line. Now, also what I see when it comes to silver is we are identifying this whole level here, the 27,500 level. 27,000. Imagine silver being 27,000. Here we go. Man, so $27.50. You can notice at $27.50 to $28. You notice how we've actually had a previous little resistance back here, and also a little short-term resistance here. So if silver does start to break above this sort of resistance line, that's going to be short-term bullish for silver, and we're probably likely to see a bit of a follow-through if we do get that little breakout. So there's a bit of an update on the silver and gold. Let's go have a quick look on a short-term basis, guys, when it comes to the gold mining stocks. So firstly, we have a bit of a trend line coming down through there somewhere. We do have this sort of resistance level up here, but let's actually delete that. So we're just going to focus on the short term. And as you can see, we're sort of squeezing up now into a triangle pattern. Now, this is a descending triangle pattern. Descending triangle pattern simply means that the market's compressing down into a level of support. So it's descending. But just because it's descending doesn't mean it's bearish, right? We need to wait for the breakout, because so many times I have seen that where the market will find support here, and it'll squeeze up like it is right now, like GDXJs, into this triangle pattern. And it's squeezing up, and it might do this, and then this, and this, and then you get a big, nice, good breakaway bar like that, and then suddenly it shoots to the upside. So this is not bullish or bearish when it comes to the GDXJ. It's simply, it's a triangle pattern, and we need to see where the breakout is going to happen. So, but if we do get a break, if we do continue to squeeze into this triangle pattern like we are, then if we do get a break below 48, then the next level of support is down here around about that level, I would say right there. Now, where is that level there? If we do break below 48, we could see a bit of a drop down towards the 43 level. Now, guys, I'm just reading what the market's telling me. You know, don't shoot the messenger, shoot the market. Because I know a lot of you guys are very bullish, and I got an investment opportunity. I got an investment in GDXJ long term. But on the short term, guys, we could see a bit of a pullback. We have to wait and see where the breakout is going to be. Moving over now through to the GDX, and let's actually go to the 3-month view, and pretty much the same sort of thing as well too. If you look at, we've had this sort of pretty significant support level around about that 33 level, somewhere about there. And you're getting this sort of descending sort of triangle, sort of descending, sort of coming down through here. But as you can see, really just nothing going on, right, for the last many months. And on the short-term basis, just a really continuous being sideways movement. We do have a bit of a short-term sort of resistance level coming on around about that level through there. As you can see, they had this sort of resistance point through there. We had a bit of rejection there and a rejection there as well too. So really just not much going on, pretty much the same sort of thing. For any bullish scenario, you want to see it get it back. You want to see this thing, the GDX anyway, get back above 36.50. If we can, then we're probably likely to make a run up towards the 39 and break that. Moving on now through to the SILJ, and looking at the SILJ, I can see that there's probably a bit of a support and resistance line coming on through there somewhere. I would say somewhere through there. Let me just draw that. So yeah, I'd use that trend line. Again, guys, what the trend line I'm using is I'm just looking for the most bounces and most touches, because that's it's the market that matters, not what we think or where it's going to go. So that majority of the bounces have been through this situation here. So that's on the short-term basis there, guys. You can see a bit of a trend line coming up. I do see a bit of a short-term, we do have obviously a gap here, but then notice how we've also got this short-term level of resistance around about that, just below the 1650. So right about the 1630 level, you can see, notice how we've been rejecting it once, rejecting it twice, and we've just been rejecting that level around that level there. So on a short-term basis, guys, if we hold here, because we're starting to get this little sort of nice little upward movement, as you can see, we had this point through there. We bounced off this level through here, and look what happened today. It came down and actually slightly, you can see if I zoom right in, oh, there we go. You can see it actually came down and bounced off that level. Now that may not mean anything tomorrow, but if we can start to break above this sort of 1650 level, we're probably going to close the gap and then try to make another run for up towards the 19. But we're probably going to close the gap and then try to make a run there. So if we do start to see a move to the upside, guys, keep an eye out for that. Moving over now through to the SIL, and a bit of a different scenario here with SIL. We've got a bit of a major support around 39. And the last sort of situations we're seeing, or last sort of maybe week now, it's developing. We've got major resistance up here around about that. I would say around about that $50 level would be major resistance. You can see it had this thumping move through here. And now we're starting to get something going on like through there somewhere, I would say. A bit of an upward move. Again, sideways, so this actually can easily go down. And we have all this sort of resistance around the $60 or $46 level. So the $46 level for me is the short-term level resistance. If we can break above that, we're probably likely to see a very nice move back up towards the 50 level. So that's what I'm seeing there, guys, with the SIL and the SILJ. Let's go have a look at the good old stock market, the good old Dow Jones and so on and so forth, and the S&P. On a short-term basis, we see that this market has continued to be in a very nice, I'd have to say the trend line is through there somewhere. So in a very nice upward channel. We had a bit of a pop-up to the downside, and now we've actually rallied out. And as you can see, look what's happening here. We're not continuing this upward move. You can see here we have a low. So we had this low point, a higher low compared to yesterday, a higher low, a higher low, a higher low, a higher low, a higher low. You can see there's strong momentum. And then we broke one low and then a slight little higher low. So there could be a bit of a sign for a bit of a pullback here, just slightly. If it does pull back, it's probably not likely to be big. And that's what I'm seeing through there. Same for the Sp500 as well too. We've got this major trend line coming through this level through here. Got this major trend line coming up, and we're starting to sort of filter through here. We're just starting to go a bit of a sideways movement through here. So it's going to be interesting to see if we do get a close below today. If we or the situation today, we get a close below today tomorrow, then we're probably likely to see a bit of a short-term pullback in the stock market, in the S&P 500. And this is the same for the Nasdaq as well. So the Nasdaq, we do have indeed a very nice sort of upward sort of channel that's going on through there. A bit of a support level, support level. Now we're actually having a bit of a rally up, and now we're sort of just hovering around. Let me just remove that. Now we're just sort of hovering around here a little bit. So again, we may be getting ready for a short-term pullback in the market. But even if we do, there's a bit of a shorter-term support around the 13,400. Moving over now through to AG, and AG, I was looking at AG today when the market was open, and AG for me could be getting ready to make another nice move to the upside. We have to wait and see if we start to get a bit of a breakaway bar to the upside here with a bit of volume spike. Then that could be getting ready for another nice move to the upside. So keep an eye for that, guys. We're in a bit of a slight little upward trend. We have this low point, and we have a higher low, a higher low. The market moved up, and then we come back down. This could be another little higher low. So if we get something like that in the markets, then we've got this gap up here, which is the gap closes 21. And there's a probably good chance we're going to close that gap if we do get that sort of breakaway bar. And then we'll probably try to like make a move to the upside and break a new break above that sort of $25 level. So keep an eye for that, guys, because we have had a very nice pullback, so we may get a very nice move to the upside with that. I'm not saying, guys, you don't want to jump in now, because trading is all about trading. Trading is all about waiting for the probability, and you want to wait for you want to wait first, because there's no guarantees we're going to get the breakaway bar, right? What does the breakaway bar give us? The breakaway bar gives us a much more higher probability, because that's all we have, right? It's a probability. There's no certainty in any trade. A much more high probability of that move now starting. But if we get in now, then there's no guarantee. The move hasn't even started. And the best thing you want to do is, as the market pulls back like this, you want to get in on the breakaway. So get in as it's just starting, and then you want to get out here, and then you want to get out, a short term later, and not try to hold on for the top up here somewhere. So the best thing is wait for a bit of a pullback, and then jump in on a trade. Now, guys, moving over, there was actually a few things that I wanted to share with you when it comes to the crypto market. And let me actually just share this with you. So let me start off with the good old Bitcoin. Let me bring this over here. So looking at Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin is just on a terrorizing move to the upside. Massive terrorizing move to the upside. I'm looking at this here, guys, and we had this nice move up, and then a short-term pullback, and then a very big move up. As you can see, we had this sort of short-term movement through here, but the hard thing about Bitcoin right now, guys, is that if you didn't invest a year ago, the worst thing you can do is try to invest in it now, and hopefully and hope and pray it goes to 100,000 or something like that. The best situations when you're looking to invest your money, when you buy and hold, And I know most of you guys aren't, because you buy something today and it goes against you tomorrow and you're freaking out. But if you are buy and hold, if you are looking for good investment opportunities, not trading opportunities, investing opportunities, then buying where Bitcoin is right now is not good. You know, the whole Elon Musk, when he bought Bitcoin, where did he buy it? At the start of the year. Where was that? Down near 15,000. So just keep an eye out for that. For me personally, I'm not in Bitcoin. And some people say, "Oh, John, I can't believe you didn't tell your followers to get into Bitcoin. You know that they have now missed out on thousands of dollars." Hey, I'm not your papa. I'm not your daddy, right? So if you want to buy Bitcoin, you go do that. I'm not stopping you from doing anything. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. And the truth is that most of the time, the truth is that buying when the market's already made a big move is always going to be a losing strategy long term. You may do well one or two or three times out of 10, but it's that 7 times out of 10 that absolutely destroys you. So don't buy something when it's high. Wait for a pullback first, all right? And Ethereum, now look at this here. Ethereum is actually quite interesting. Look at this. Now, I'm noticing here, as Ethereum's been going up, there's actually a bit of, this is the RSI down the bottom here, just using a 14 on the RSI. But notice, look at this here. Notice with the RSI, as Ethereum's been going up, so has this, look at this trend line here on the RSI. Really, really, really interesting. And noticing that this point right through here, was that RSI there. Where we are now, look at the RSI now. Now, I'm not saying we're going to drop, but if we do start to get a bit of a pullback and we see the RSI do this and RSI break below this trend line, then we could start to see something like that happening, which is probably going to happen anyway. We just don't know when that top's going to be when it comes to Ethereum. So keep an eye for that, guys, because we are squeezing up, and now we're sort of squeezing through here. The relative strength is getting a bit weaker. So keep an eye out for the RSI, because if the RSI does start to roll below this trend line here, then that's probably going to be a bit of a warning sign of a drop to come. You know, and if I look at my charts in the past, guys, let me just share this with you. Like back through here, you can see how we had this sort of support line coming through here. As you can see, once we did start to break below it, which was actually right there, the breaking below was right here, which was right there. We started to see a pullback in the markets, and so on and so forth. So when the market does this, and when the market starts to do this, you start to see, okay, things are not working at the way that. Now this is for short term, guys. Short term on Ethereum. But if you're a long term investor, you don't care about these pullbacks and swings, because that's just what the market does. So anyway, guys, I hope this helps you out, and I'll speak to you guys real soon.